Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 for Pine City here at Pine City High School. They will be taking on International Falls, who got the upset win over Pequot Lakes there in that second game of this Section 7 AA playoffs here in Pine City. International Falls won 7-5 after a 5-run fourth inning for the Broncos. So the Broncos were able to hold on to get the 7-5 win. Pequot Lakes made a late run there in the bottom of the 7th inning. They came back and scored 3 runs to make it 7-5 with 2 outs, but unfortunately for Pequot Lakes, International Falls was able to hold on, grab that final out, and get the victory 7-5, and now they will play here in Game 2 of this Section 7 AA playoff matchup. The winner here will move on to the next round. Don't know where yet. MSHSL hasn't updated that quite yet, but as soon as they will, we will let you know. Oh, looks like they just did. Wow. So Mora actually beat Aiken 2-1 in their game, so Aiken season is over. Mora is moving on. They will face off against Esco at 4:30. So actually just in a little bit, they will play against Esco here up in Esco in about 5 minutes here, Pine City. We had some rain come through the area, so this one got postponed just a little bit. The rain kind of came in pretty darn quickly. All of a sudden it started coming down, and we had to kind of cover our equipment, make sure nothing got wet or no one got electrocuted, thankfully. The rain kind of went out as quickly as it came in, so now we're semi-dry here, and we're about to get set for this Game 2. International Falls came in as the 12 seed. Of course, they beat Pequot Lakes 7-5 there in that first matchup. These two teams will play here. Not sure where the next round is. We'll keep you up to date on that. Rush City in this same bracket, 7AA, they fell to Duluth Marshall 10-0. So sadly, Rush City's season is over. And while we take a look at the brackets, might as well check the rest of the brackets since, well, they've been updated. And we do have another game going on this afternoon. North Branch will be taking on Hibbing. That game has not happened yet. So, again, more playoff baseball coming up here today. We do have also playoff softball action this afternoon as well, as we take a look at some more tournaments here for our stations, kind of our local teams. But while we try to look for those, I should say, Pine City will be facing off against, again, the lower seed, kind of the Cinderella here, if you will, of the playoffs. International Falls has beat the Pequot Lakes Patriots 7-5. Pequot Lakes came in as the 5 seed, and they look heavily favorites, but not to be, as they fall to International Falls. And it should be an interesting game here this afternoon between these two teams. As I mentioned, I was able to sit and watch that game between I-Falls and Pequot Lakes. It was a good one. Kind of a pitcher's duel, and then in that fourth inning, I-Falls came out, scored 5 runs, and was able to hold on to that lead. Those 5 runs would help them grab enough and would wind up winning that one, as I mentioned, 7-5. And Pequot Lakes season sadly is over. But I-Falls trying to continue their Cinderella story here in this baseball playoffs. The Dragons were just warming up, and now we'll probably get set here for first pitch very quickly. I-Falls, not too much need to warm up. I mean, might need a little warm up just because of the delay because of the rain, but the rain has subsided for now. We're supposed to get a little bit more rain later on. Hopefully it holds off for the game. So, but we're still here. We're still here. We didn't go anywhere. But I-Falls will go out there and warm up. So a little bit too much time in between. Otherwise, they may not have needed to. Because that since that game ended early between Pequot and I-Falls. It was moving right along. It was a quick game, but since it ended early, they were going to try and start at 4, but obviously that is not the case. So the Pine City Dragons and the International Falls Broncos will do battle here in Pine City in just a little bit. I-Falls will get the warm-up. We'll go over some things after that, and then should be set for some more baseball action. Pine City trying to move on to the next round in these baseball playoffs, and if they were to do that, that would be huge for Pine City, just because, they have, the last couple of years, they have been very, very good at baseball. Last year had an early exit. This year, they're looking to make it not so much. The winner moves on to the quarterfinals in the baseball bracket, and not sure again where they will play yet or when, but we'll keep you up to date on that as soon as that is updated on the MSHSL website. For now, we're going to take a quick commercial break here from some of our fine sponsors, and when we come back, we should be that much closer to first pitch here in game number, technically 3 here at Pine City High School between the Dragons and the International Falls Broncos. You're listening to Baseball on 106.5 FM, WCMP.
An air source heat pump is not only a high-efficiency air conditioning unit, it can heat your home or business efficiently during the spring and fall. Plus, it's more economical than heating with natural gas. Have Dale's Heating and Appliance install your air source heat pump. Dale's offers a personalized focus, free consultations, and free estimates. Ask the pros at Dale's how you can receive up to $1,250 in rebates for your air source heat pump system installed in 2023 with 0% financing. Visit Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
High-capacity hydraulics, four-wheel drive, hydrostatic transmission, horsepower. You like when somebody speaks your language. Then you better visit the experts at Minnesota Equipment in Isanti. Dozens of tractors, utility vehicles, mowers, and compact utility tractors ready to take home today at a price that won't break the bank. The sale is just the start of the relationship. Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti, or at minnesotaequipment.com.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
When you need an AC or furnace tune-up, Dale's Heating and Appliance is always clutch. Need financing on a new AC or furnace system? Dale's Heating and Appliance in Pine City is your closer. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
Avoid costly repairs on your AC or heating system by getting a tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. Dale's is your hometown cooling and heating expert, servicing Pine City and surrounding areas. Visit Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com today. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
Back here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP, of course, WCMPradio.com. Audio only, though. Audio only due to playoffs, so. But the Dragons and Broncos getting set. Broncos warming up here and taking a look at these two teams coming into the season. Pine City again finished 14-4 in the regular season, 4-2. International Falls finished 6-10 and 1-4 in this section. They pretty even on the runs given up and runs for. 5.2 runs for per game and 5.9 runs against, so pretty darn even. But again, a little bit of a shocker in the section. Not that too many Pine City fans care, but let's go. Number 1, Rockridge did jump to number 2 over Duluth Marshall, which is a little bit of a surprise because Duluth Marshall 15-4, but they are ranked number 2 in the state. Rockridge number 13, so a little bit interesting there. And the QRF for Duluth Marshall, as we take a look at it, is about 22 points more than Rockridge. So you look into that what you will, but Rockridge was unfortunately able to beat Pine City 12-2 in their regular season finale. And I know when you play against section opponents, that has a little bit more play once you come to talk about standings and the way they finish. So, International Falls, again, kind of comes up with the upset here in their game against Pequot Lakes, 7-5, and pretty good pitching. I mean, Pequot Lakes was getting some hits out there, but this Broncos defense did a really good job of just making plays when they needed to, and then they slowed that 3-run comeback there in the bottom of the 7th inning to grab that 7-5 victory. So it was close, but High Falls does come away with the win. Pine City, they beat Malacca 10-0 in their win. That was helped by Isaiah Haas, who had a 3-run jack in the 6th inning. That put them up 8-0, and then, in the 5th inning is when he hit that, and then in the 6th inning, he was able to get a fielder's choice, 2-run fielder's choice, rather. That would give them the 10-0 victory, and that is how we get to this matchup here, just a little after the 4:30 hour here at Pine City High School in Section 7AA Playoff Baseball. Also want to remind you, on our website at the Pine City, or at WCMPradio.com, we have a golf card. Yeah, a golf card where you can save some green thanks to our golf card. As we take a look at it, it is nearly a $200 value you can get for $100. You can get 18 holes of golf and a cart at each of the 4 courses, participating courses, which is the Bull Rush Golf Course in Rush City, the Stones Throw Golf Course in Malacca, the Spring Brook Golf Course in Mora, and of course the Pine City Country Club here in Pine City. It is valid for one 18-hole round of golf with a cart for one person at each participating course, or for 2 9-hole rounds at Pine City Country Club on the same day. Again, it is not valid for league or tournament play, and course rules do apply, and it expires at the end of this golf season. So make sure to head on over there. There are only a limited amount on our website, so be sure to get yours today. It's a great gift, especially for if you got an avid golfer in your life, or just you simply like to go out and golf every once in a while, just to enjoy the fresh air, the nice greens. It's a good time. And you can find that at WCMPradio.com/deals. Of course, this Save Some Green golf card brought to you by Bogies on Main in Hinckley. So thanks to them for that. Getting our starters here for both of these teams. Of course, on the defensive side, first will be the Pine City Dragons. And lining up on the mound to start with will be Bryce Erickson. Isaiah Haas started the last game, but was only able to go 1 1/3 innings, gave up 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and it's not that he gave up any runs, but it was more or less about just saving his arm and keeping his confidence up for the future games here in playoffs. They were pretty confident they were going to win that Malacca game. Early on, though, it was pretty close, but they wanted to do whatever they could to save his arm and his confidence and keep him confident not only at the on the mound for later dates, but also for the field and at the plate. But he went 1 1/3, then coming in was Nick Pelagic in place of him. He pitched 3 2/3 innings with 4 strikeouts and a walk. And then Mason Charles finished it off in the last inning with 1 strikeout. They really came back and did some work. Of course, Isaiah Haas had the big 3-run home run in the 5th inning. So that is how things will look for the Pine City Dragons. We'll wait and see the High Falls just because it'll be a little bit different. Pine City Dragons getting set to take on the International Falls Broncos. And just going over a couple of different things here before we continue. And while we wait, we'll take a quick one more commercial break, and by the time we come back, we will be set for first pitch here in Pine City between the Broncos and the Dragons. You're listening to Baseball here on WCMP.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas, when you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
It's finally mowing season, but you'd rather be doing something else. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to help you get the job done quicker, any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk-behind mowers. How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Yard work doesn't have to take all day. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti, or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
At Stearns Bank, we're proud to get together to cheer on Dragon Athletics, and we believe that we can always go further when we work together. Whether you're earning your next big win on the field, on the court, or in the arena of life, surround yourself with a team focused on integrity, accountability, and hard work. Put our top-performing team to work for you. Visit our local Pine City branch on Hillside Avenue, call us at 320-629-6713, or explore more online at stearnsbank.com. Go Dragons! Stearns Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Back here, 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP. Not started just yet, but we are getting ready. Both teams antsy to get back out on the field again. Field's a little bit wet due to the rain that came through right after that Pequot Lakes International Falls games got over. About 5-10 minutes after that, rain came in and poured for a little bit, but it didn't come down too badly as the field got some water that it needed in. And I might make it a little bit slick out there. The ball might roll a little bit, but might slow it down a little bit too. But everything does look good. The field is not too wet, and in fact, out here on the grass, I think I would, just in tennis shoes, be able to run and not slip terribly. So it might not be too terrible out there, especially in cleats. It might not have changed it at all, but I definitely did cool off the air a little bit here at Pine City, which is kind of nice because it was getting a little bit steamy, especially with that sun beating down on you. It's really warm. So cooled things down just a little bit, and we're just about set for action. We're getting the umpires meeting with the two head coaches over there at home plate. And again, these two teams didn't play each other during the regular season, so will be interesting to see how they do. But Pine City was able to watch the I-Falls game against Pequot Lake, so it's almost like they got to get some free scouting in against the team they're going to be playing. Of course, if they would have played Pequot Lakes, it would have been the same thing, but they are able to watch them and get a good idea of what they'll face in International Falls. Pine City, again, in that first game against Malacca, kind of a late start to that game, just action-wise, because the first couple innings, not a whole lot was going on for Pine City. They did get one run in the second, but it didn't look like anything terrific. And then that third inning, they got 3 runs. The fourth provided 1. And then that fifth inning was really when the spark happened, when they were up, believe it or not, 5-0. It just, you still felt like Pine City just wasn't in full control yet, but then the 3-run homer from Isaiah Haas really gave them the momentum, and then they ran away with it there in the 6th for the 10-0 victory to close out the victory over Malacca. And unfortunately, their season did come to an end, did the Wolves. But congratulations to Malacca on a great season, and wish their seniors nothing but the best of luck moving forward, whether it's they go off to college or whether they go into working field. Wish them nothing but the best of luck. Or maybe they're going into the military too, and if that's the case, thank them for what they have decided to do. So again, it's going to be Bryce Erickson starting on the mound for your Pine City Dragons. Erickson on the mound. Elliot Blotz behind home plate. Then it'll be Aiden Palmer on first. Luke Wilson over there on second. Over on third, it will be Isaiah Haas. Then at short, it will be Nick Plajek. Then Ethan Agard over in left field. Riley Cummings in center. And over in right field, it will be Mason Charles. That is how the defense will line up here in this game for Pine City. Looking like, lost my pen. Looking like apparently my pen was done. Looking at the starting lineup, looking like leading off will be number 5, Torrin Thompson. So Torrin Thompson looks to lead off for the I-Falls Broncos. And it looks like Matt Worley in the number 2 spot. And Erickson will get these final last couple of warm-up throws in, and then we'll be set to go here in this final game of the day in Pine City. The winner moves on to the quarterfinals, and the loser will head down to the elimination bracket. So it will be Torrin Thompson leading off for the I-Falls Broncos. International Falls is wearing their purple jerseys with yellow shoulders, yellow stripe down the side, yellow numbers and letters, outlined in white pants, and the white hats with the purple brim. First pitch swinging is Torrin Thompson, and that'll be strike number 1 from Bryce Erickson. Here is the pitch, and swung on and missed by Thompson. Torrin Thompson sits with 0-2. Erickson looks for the early out, and that one swung on and hit into shallow right, diving after it, but not getting to it in time is Luke Wilson. And Torrin Thompson leads off with a single. And now coming to the plate is Matt Worley. Julius Maish behind him. Broncos, this is kind of what happened in that first game that they played against Pequot Lakes. They got a couple of runners on, and they were just able to get those runners across the board. The runner from first is going to easily steal second, but a swinging bunt almost there from Matt Worley is ground out to the pitcher for out number 1, but Thompson will move to second, and now Julius Maish at the plate. And in the cleanup spot for the Broncos is Cody Joslin. So Maish at the plate, Julius Maish. First pitch swinging, and he'll foul that one back out of play. 1 out, 1 on. Runner on second is Torrin Thompson for the Broncos. Bryce Erickson, the starting pitcher again for Pine City. And that one's going to go up high to Maish. And that moves the count 1-1. Erickson with the windup and the pitch. That one's going to be low in the dirt. Nice job there by Blotz to keep that one in front of him. That could have been disaster, as that would have set Thompson to third. But Blotz did a nice job keeping that in front of him. And here's the pitch from Erickson. That's going to be low. That is going to get by him, and now Thompson will go to third. So 90 feet away is Thompson, and Erickson early on got to escape a possible jam here, and not ideal for Pine City. Thompson did a good job there in his at-bat, but Worley grounded out. Now Julius Maish at the plate for International Falls. And that one is going to, did that stay fair? It did. So Julius Maish with a RBI single that rolled that third baseline and somehow stayed fair. I don't know how in the world it stayed fair, but it did. And it stayed fair, so the Broncos will score first. They lead 1-0. Cody Joslin at the plate now with a runner on first. This one's popped up. Joslin at the plate after swinging that one out of play. Deals with an 0-1 count. He swings on this one, foul it off down the first base line. Behind Joslin is number 24, C.J. Hasbargen. So 0-2 count now for Joslin. 1 out, and runner has already crossed the plate for the Broncos. They lead 1-0 early on. Erickson on the mound. Looks at the runner at first. Oh, so that's going to hit Joslin. I mean, just. Maish will head to second, and all of a sudden CJ Hasbargen now sits with a runner in scoring position and a runner on first. Erickson readies. Here's the pitch. Here's the swing and a miss from Hasbargen. And the 0-1 count now to him. So 2 on and only 1 out now for I Falls. The 0-1 on the way. Swing and a miss from Hasbargen. And Erickson ahead 0-2. Trying to get out number 2 here. Oh, and that throw back to Plajek is going to escape and drifts to the outfield. And now Maish is on to third. So runners at the corners with 1 out. Wow. A tough start here for Pine City. Almost a kind of a momentum-wise similar start to that first game, except they were able to get 3 straight strikeouts. But here, this one is popped up towards right field. That should be enough to draw in the run from third. And the runner is going to be safe. The throw down to second now as the runner from first goes to second. He's going to be safe. Oh, my. So a sac fly RBI. And now it's 2-0 in favor of the Broncos. And give credit to them. They're being aggressive early on, and all of a sudden they lead 2-0 with a runner on second and 2 down. Brody Carlson to the plate now for the Broncos. So 1 outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 inside for ball 2 to Carlson. Erickson now a 2-0 count. And here's the delivery. That one's in there for strike 1, so 2-1 now for Erickson. Again, already 2 runs across the board for I Falls, and down early are the Dragons, but they're not shy to coming back from these early deficits. If you're the Dragons, you don't want to work from that, but they know they're able to. Again, the winner will move on to the quarterfinals. The loser goes down to the elimination bracket. So there is a lot on the line here. The other elimination bracket's not easy to play in. Of course, everyone's 1 game away from being eliminated. Oh. I might have. And did it? It did. So Carlson was hit. I didn't know if that bounced first and then hit him or hit him. And they will get a courtesy runner there for him. That'll be number 9, Caleb Joslin. Jake Olson will come to the plate. 2 down and 2 on. Still for the I Falls Broncos. Runners at first and second. 2 down and 2 runs have already crossed the plate. First pitch to Jake Olson is low for ball 1. 1-0 count now, and Erickson. Tough start to this game, but got every opportunity here to make it different. And I don't know what the runner at second was doing. He stopped in between, but he had to go to third no matter what. But it will be a ground out there for Jake Olson. So Dragons finally get out of the inning, but some damage has been done by the Broncos. They lead 2-0 here as we head to the bottom of inning number 1. So some early work to do. The Broncos, again, just being aggressive early and often with the base running, and that's kind of what they did in that first game against Pequot Lakes. They were just aggressive in their base running early and often, and they got some key hits, and they were able to cross a few runners, and then had a big 4th inning that seen 5 runs come across the board, and now they're hoping to keep Pine City off of the board on defense. But again, Pine City, a team that can go and score runs in a hurry. They really know how to come back from some deficits. Starting on the mound for the I-Falls Broncos is going to be number 15, Cody Joslin. He'll be on the mound. Over at first is Julius Maish. Behind the plate, I believe that's number 3, Brody Carlson, the catcher. At third is going to be number 24, CJ Hasbargen. At shortstop is number 18, Noah Shakowski. Can't see who's at second, so my eyes are just terrible. Looks like number 12, Jake Olson. So, of course, leading off for the Dragons will be Mason Charles. They've got some work to do, down 2-0 early here. And, again, if Dragons are going to come back in this one, don't necessarily have to panic, but you're going to have to get things going early on, because if that's any sign of what I-Falls is going to be doing, they're going to keep being aggressive, and that being aggressive can lead to some errors by the opposing team, and being aggressive again just gets in the head of the opposing team and really can make a difference. It has here for I-Falls, so let's see if they keep doing that. I would expect no less from the Broncos next inning, but so Charles will finally get to step into the batter's box. And it's Cody Joslin on the mound for the Broncos. Charles will step into the box. Down 2-0. So bottom of the second, leadoff batter Charles. Here's the first pitch to him. Low for ball 1. So 1-0 count here for Mason Charles, and Dragons might just have to be a little bit picky at the plate. And Charles is going to swing, hit that one down the third base line, but foul. Charles will deal with a 1-1 count now. Back in the batter's box. Joslin gets set. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one in the dirt. It was a count 2-1 for Charles. So 2-1, and here's Joslin with the pitch. That one is swung on and hit towards the third baseman. Grabs it cleanly, throw down to first. In time for out number 1. Bryce Erickson will now come to the plate, the starting pitcher. Behind him, of course, the power hitter, Isaiah Haas. Hit that home run back in their first game. It was a 3-run home run. Joslin with the windup and the pitch. Erickson steps out of the way of that one, and that one almost hit his foot, but bounces and misses his foot. So here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in there for strike 1. From Joslin to Bryce Erickson. So Erickson now with a 1-1 count. 1 down for Pine City. Mason Charles was retired on the ground ball. That one inside for ball 2. 2-1 count now for Bryce Erickson. Joslin with the pitch. He really wastes no time up there as that one's low for ball 3. So now a 3-1 count here for Bryce Erickson. And Joslin again, Cody Joslin on the mound. Really wasting no time in between pitches. He gets back to the mound and starts his windup pretty quickly. And here's the 3-1 inside for ball 4. So Erickson will make his way down to first on a walk, and that will bring to the plate the power hitter, Isaiah Haas. Haas to the plate. Again, his last 2 at-bats saw a home run and then a fielder's choice with 2 runs coming across to end the game. That one's high for ball 1. Now Haas, his home run came off of a lower pitch in the zone, so he's able to find power in all spots, it seems like. And there's ball 2 as that one was high. Runner on first with 1 down for Pine City. 2-0 count now for Haas. Joslin checks the runner, but then throws home. It's in there for strike 1. 2-1 count now for Isaiah Haas. The sun has finally popped back out here in Pine City, so warming back up as a 2-1 pitch to Haas. Swung on and fouled back out of play. No, it will stay in play. Fence caught it. So that'll even the count at 2-2 here for Isaiah Haas. 1 down, runner on first. Joslin with the pitch. That's low for ball 3, and that will move the count full, and Erickson is into second easily, standing up, and so still 1 down, runner on second now, and Haas with a full count. And he will pop that one up, back out of play. So he'll step back into the batter's box again with a full count. Joslin readies. And here's the full count delivery. Haas, that one was a little bit low, but he fouls it off down that third base line. We'll do it once again with the count full. 1 down, runner on second for Pine City. They trail 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Joslin with the pitch. And Haas swung and missed, so that'll be a strikeout for Haas as he is out number 2. And now Nick Plajek coming to the plate. And Dragons trying to get something going here, trying to answer back with at least a run. 2 would be perfect, but you got the runner on second. You'd love to get him home. So Joslin checks. Here's the throw. And that will be low in the dirt. And Erickson will get into third. He will get dirty, but he's into third. So Bryce Erickson 90 feet away. Nick Plajek, a base hit, will cut the lead in half. Plajek will deal with a 1-0 count. It's Joslin with the pitch. And Plajek will pop that one up towards first base in foul territory. He's over there in time for out number 3. So 4 batters come to the plate, but they cannot cross any. And they will go into the top of inning number 2, trailing 2-0 in the I Falls Broncos again. They are so aggressive base running and just seemingly get the placements they want and are able to cross 2 runs there in the top of the first, and we'll see what they do here. Top of the second. Let's see if Pine City can have a little bit of a better outing in the top of the second than they did in the top of the first. 7 batters came to the plate for I Falls in the top of the first, with 2 crossing on 2 hits, and 2 batters were hit by the pitch, so Erickson hoping for a better outing here in the top of the second. And again, sometimes it's about kind of erasing that memory of the inning you had and coming back in the next inning and showing how well you can do. So looks like leading off for I-Falls will be Parker Olson. And not sure who's on deck, so we'll wait to see. But Erickson, again, got some work to do in front of him. The Dragons trail 2-0 here in Pine City and are in danger of heading to the elimination bracket. If they lose today, that's where they would go. That they win, they move on to the quarterfinals. Parker Olson to the plate. Erickson will get ready to face Olson. Get set. Here's the windup and the pitch. In there for strike one from Bryce Erickson. So first pitch is strike one. Erickson ready. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Oh, and Olson held back on that check swing just enough for ball one. Being aggressive, but that's why being aggressive can hurt you sometimes. As that one is lined right back up the middle. Oh, and slowing it down was Luke Wilson, but cannot hold on to it. So Parker Olson's going to get a single, and not what you want if you're Pine City. Because now we head to Noah Shikowski, number 18. Erickson will check the runner at first, and he's got him! The runner leading a little too far from first, and he gets caught trying to steal, and great job there by Bryce Erickson, realizing how far he was leaning, catches him, and now they will have one out. That's a big out for Pine City after he reached on a base hit. Throw him out at first, and that one's going to be popped up. Two guys going after it. It's going to get down for a base hit. Nick Plajic going after it, and he could not grab it, so it's going to be a single there for Noah Shikowski. And runner back at first, but now with one down for I-Falls, as that will bring us back to the top of the order with Torrin Thompson. Get a base hit in his first at-bat, and now a thrower to first is not in time. Almost. Half second earlier, and that runner's out at first again. Bryce Erickson with the pitch. That was inside. And Elliot Blanc is realizing, that runner at first is getting a little bit of a lead, so he's popping up pretty quickly, maybe trying to catch him leaning. Throw over to first this time. Shikowski is back in plenty of time. So one out, runner on first. Erickson with the delivery with 1-0, and that one is popped up towards center field. And getting under it in time for out number 2. That time is Riley Cummings.
Number 10, Matt Worley.
Torrin Thompson flies out to center for out number 2, and now it's Matt Worley, grounded out in the first. He's got a runner on first. First pitch to him is swung on and fouled over the Broncos dugout. So 0-1 count now for Worley, and runner at first. The Dragons trying to get out of here without allowing any runs to cross. Allowed 2 there in that first inning, but would love to get their team back. And that is, just high. So it will move the count to 1-1 for Matt Worley of the I-Falls Broncos. Erickson with the pitch. That one's going to be low. And that will make it 2-1. Runner at first will get his lead. Erickson gets the signal, likes it, keeps an eye on that runner. And here's the pitch. That one is swung on and hit towards the third baseman. Throw on to first. In time. So Aiden Palmer does get the stretch. Wow. Isaiah Haas had a tough throw over there to first, and Aiden Palmer with the stretch gets the out, and that's not the first time we've seen Palmer stretch to make a play. We have seen that before. In that first game, he made a stretch to get another out like that. And he does it there and gets the Dragons out of the top of the second inning. So the Dragons will go to the bottom of the second. They're down 2-0, got some work to do. But again, this is a team where they can be down, but they also will fight back. And they're a team that stays patient. They could very easily bring this one to the fifth and still be down 2-0, but then all of a sudden the bats get hot and someone like Isaiah Haas, Aiden Palmer will get a hold of a ball, either send it over the fence or at least to the outfield and score a couple of runs on a sac fly or a home run. So if you're Pine City, I think the word to them is just don't panic. You're only in the second inning. No need to panic. No need to get flustered. Still plenty of time in this one. It's only the bottom of the second inning. Cody Joslin again on the mound for I-Falls, and while we wait for them to get to the plate, we'll take a quick commercial break.
Did you know that Franzen Bank & Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank & Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Riley Cummings will lead off the bottom of the second inning here for Pine City. Here's the pitch. And in there for strike one to Cummings. So 0-1 count now for Cummings. Here's the 0-1. Cummings gets a piece of that one to right field, and that will be a base hit for Riley Cummings to begin inning number 2. Elliot Blatz coming to the plate now. The leadoff single there from Riley Cummings. Cody Joslin got a strikeout there in that inning, and Blatz will watch this one go just high for ball 1. 1-0 count to him as he's got Cummings over on first. Joslin will throw back over to first, and Cummings is safe. A little bit of dramatics over there at first, but I like the theatrics sometimes. He is back safely. So Joslin trying to catch a runner at first. And that pitch is in there, and then it makes a 1-1 count for Blatz, but the catcher popped up quickly trying to warn Cummings, hey, you get a little too far. I'm going to throw down, but Cummings, he's still wanting that decently sized lead, and this ball to Blatz is low for ball 2. So 2-1 now for Elliot Blatz, and Cummings still gets that lead. That one's high for ball 3. 3-1 now for Blatz, and Cummings over at first again. Still getting that large lead. Haven't checked on him recently, and that one's going to be low in the dirt for ball 4. So Blatz will head to first, and Cummings will go to second. Aiden Palmer now to the plate. Great opportunity here now for the Dragons to try and get some runs back. Down 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning after 2 runs were scored in the top of the first by the Broncos. First pitch is in there for strike 1 from Cody Joslin from the Broncos. Broncos made a long trip today down to Pine City, but they are here, and obviously they won that first game against Pequot Lakes 7-5. Now they lead 2-0. Palmer showing bunt, and that's going to roll foul down that first baseline. So 0-2 count for Palmer. Runners on first and second. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. So Palmer, good idea. Just traveled foul on that one. And Joslin with the 0-2. Palmer gets a piece of that one down the third baseline, and it's going to roll. They're going to send the man from second home. That's Cummings, and Cummings will be in standing up, and it will be an RBI single for Aiden Palmer. So the Dragons will get a run back here in this one. And the Dragons trail now 2-1. Agard comes to the plate, Ethan Agard. And Blatz is back in time. They will check on him at second, but he's back in time safely. So pitch hasn't been thrown to Agard yet, but he'll step back into the right-handed batter's box, and Cody Joslin will look at the runner at second. And the pitch to Agard is in there for strike number 1. Agard in the first game was 0 for 2, and he walked twice. And Agard pulled back the bunt in time. So the count will go to 1-1. That was close, but he did pull back in time. 1-1 count now for Agard. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. And Agard puts down the bunt, and he'll advance every runner. Nobody on first, and Agard is safe with the bunt. Bases are loaded now for Luke Wilson, and nobody out. Perfect bunt there by Ethan Agard will lead to Luke Wilson at the plate with bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Inside the strike zone, and just enough for strike 1. Outside part of the plate, but still got enough. Luke Wilson in that first game, he was 0 for 1, 0 for 2 rather, and he reached on a fielder's choice and 2 walks. He did score a run there in the 6th inning, which wound up being actually, I believe, one of the game-winning runs to make it a 10-0 win. That one's in the dirt, and ooh, good job there by the catcher. Brody Carlson does a good job keeping that one in front of him. Bases loaded, Luke Wilson at the plate, and here's the pitch to Luke Wilson. Wilson gets a piece of it, and the throw home is oh, he dropped it! So an E2 is going to get a run home. So Blatz scores, and the game is now tied at 2. So 2-2 our score. Pine City has loaded the bases, and Wilson reaches on that error. Slow roller, but the error there by Brody Carlson at the plate. He dropped it, which would have been the first out, and they would have avoided the run at coming across the plate, but unfortunately for the Broncos, that did not happen. He dropped it, and Blatz scores. So the Dragons still nobody out. Bases still loaded. And as you keep going down this top of the lineup, it gets more and more dangerous. You've got Charles who can make good contact. You've got Erickson who makes good contact. Then you've got the power hitter in Isaiah Haas, and you really don't want to leave the bases loaded with him coming to the plate because there's a great chance he either drills one outside of the fence or he at least puts one to the outfield that's deep enough to score a run or 2. Back to the top of the order, Mason Charles. Charles grounded out in his first at-bat. Here's the pitch. He swings, and that one will be fouled out of play. So he'll do with an 0-1 count. Nobody got hurt there, and going to get a mound visit. Looks like we're going to get a pitcher change. So a pitching change, interestingly enough, for the I-Falls Broncos, and that means Cody Joslin is only going to get 1 inning of work. He He did strike out one, but that is it. 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Cody Joslin will see his day come to an end at the pitcher spot. Moving to the pitcher spot will be Parker Olson now. So Parker Olson will move to the pitcher position, and he'll come in and be in a tough situation. Bases loaded. Mason Charles coming to the plate, and you've got the top of the order coming in with bases loaded. Not ideal for any pitcher, so we'll see what he can do. But while we wait for him to warm up, we'll take commercial break. You're listening to Playoff Baseball here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP.
An air source heat pump is not only a high-efficiency air conditioning unit, it can heat your home or business efficiently during the spring and fall. Plus, it's more economical than heating with natural gas. Have Dale's Heating and Appliance install your air source heat pump. Dale's offers a personalized focus, free consultations, and free estimates. Ask the pros at Dale's how you can receive up to $1,250 in rebates for your air source heat pump system installed in 2023 with 0% financing. Visit Dale'sHeatingAndAppliance.com.
106.5 FM, AM 1350, and of course WCMPradio.com, audio only. The Dragons have tied it up 2-2 here in the bottom of the second inning. After a tough start for Bryce Erickson in the top of the first, saw 2 runs come across for I Falls. The Dragons have loaded the bases and have scored 2 runs here with nobody out, and we're back to the top of the order with Mason Charles. And a chance to really break this thing open if you're Pine City. Mason again grounded out in his first at-bat. Oh, getting set up. Charles steps into the right-handed batter's box, and we're set to go now with Parker Olson. That one is going to be in the dirt for ball 1. Again, after the foul ball by Mason Charles, they decided to go with the pitching change, and now the first pitch from Olson is in the dirt for ball 1. So 1-1 count for Mason Charles, and he delivers a blast to left field, but is it going to go foul? It will. That one hooks foul by Mason Charles. If you didn't hear me, you heard the dugout. They thought that one was going to stay fair, but it does not. If that one does, that might empty the bases. 1-2 count now for Charles. Here's the pitch. And Charles will pop this one out to the outfield, and this should get down, and it will. Palmer will get home on the sac fly from Mason Charles. So he is the first out. And the second is Mason Charles, but Aiden Palmer heads home, and it's now a 3-2 game in favor of Pine City. Runners at first and second now, and it's Bryce Erickson who reached on a walk in his first at-bat. Erickson will foul that one off down the first base line. Parker Olson gets set with the 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one's high for ball 1. So 1-1 count now for Bryce Erickson. Runners on first and second. That one's in the dirt, and great job again by the catcher, Brody Carlson, at keeping that one in front of him and making sure those runners stay at bay. Oh, they're going to call a balk, though. So the runners will advance to second and third. So Ethan Agard at third, Luke Wilson at second, and first base is open for Bryce Erickson. That is inside for ball 3. 1 out, runners on in scoring position. Here's the pitch. And that's a shot out to center field. He's going to grab it for the out, and a late tag here from Agard, but he's going to cross in time. And that will make it 4-2. So now Isaiah Haas comes to the plate. The runner in scoring position, 2 down. So another sac fly. Haas first pitch swinging, fouls that one back. So 2 down, runner on second. Isaiah Haas. That one's high. Ball 1. 1-1 now for Haas. Again, 2 down, runner on second. Here's the pitch. And Haas will foul this one back out of play. Haas trying to straighten this up and drill this to deep outfield and try and keep the run going for the Dragons. And here's the delivery. Haas gets it hard on the ground, and that gets past the third baseman and the shortstop. They're going to send the runner from second. That's Luke Wilson. He'll score easily. It will be an RBI single for Isaiah Haas. And the Dragons will now make it 5-2. So Pine City has scored 5 runs here in the second inning. Still 2 down. And now Nick Plajic comes to the plate. He flew out in his first at-bat in the first inning. So 9 batters have come around. First pitch to Plajic is low for ball 1, and Haas is easily into second. Nick Plajic with a 1-0 count now. Runner on second. He's got first base open. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Plajic will watch that one go by for strike 1. Again, sometimes just about being patient. Don't want to swing at the first strike you see all the time. Here's the 1-1. Plajic will get this one on the ground towards the second baseman. Oh, it takes a funky hop, and he is going to be safe. And Isaiah Haas is going to go aggressive and reach the home plate to cross another run to make it 6-2. Great awareness there by Isaiah Haas to make it a 6-2 lead. An error. But now we're back to Riley Cummings, who led off this inning with a base hit. He eventually scored. Nick Plajic will be back in time after the pickoff attempt from Parker Olson. So 6-2 here for Pine City. 2 out and runner on first for Riley Cummings. It's low for ball 1. Again, Cummings led off this inning with a base hit. He eventually rounded third and came home to score. So his second time at the plate here in this inning. That one's low. That's going to bounce away from the catcher. It took a very long bounce. And that ball will go into the Dragons dugout. So Nick Plajic will get no more than second, but he does advance to second. And it's still 2-0 for Riley Cummings. Cummings steps back into the batter's box. Parker Olson gets set. Here's the pitch. Outside, for ball 3. Cummings gives a quick shoulder shake, then steps back into the box, and Olson with the pitch. It's outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Riley Cummings. So now Elliot Blatz comes back to the plate. He walked to begin this inning and then eventually came around to score. So runners on second and first, 2 down. Blatz swings and hits this one to the outfield, and that might be enough to score the runner. They're going to send him from second, so Nick Plajic is going to come around, and he will reach home easily for the 7th run for the Pine City Dragons. That'll make it 7-2 in favor of Pine City. And an RBI single there from Elliot Blatz. Aiden Palmer back to the plate. He got a RBI single in his last at-bat in this inning. 2 outs, runner still on first and second. Here's the pitch. And Palmer delivers a drill down the left field line, but it is foul. Just foul there for Aiden Palmer. Straighten that one out and might empty the bases. 7-2, Dragons lead. Olsen with the pitch. That's low in the dirt, and Carlson does a good job keeping it in front of him again. He's only had one or two get away from him, and that's because they bounced in front of him and then went way off track. So 1-1 now to Aiden Palmer. Here's the pitch. That one swung on, and a little looper to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And the runner from second, Riley Cummings, comes in to score. And Aiden Palmer with another RBI single. That'll make it 8-2. So 8-2 in favor of the Dragons. Ethan Agard back to the plate. He hit a single in his first plate appearance in this inning. That ball is just outside for ball one to Agard. Olsen with the 1-0. That's high for ball two. Two outs, runners on first and second. Agard deals with a 2-0 count. Here's the pitch from Olsen. It's just in there for strike, low. 8-2, Dragons with the lead. And some 2-out magic here. We've seen this before from Pine City. They're a great 2-out hitting team. That one is in there on the outside part of the plate for strike two. So a 2-2 count now for Ethan Agard. Runners on first and second, two down. So full count for Agard, and Olsen will get ready. And here's the pitch. Agard gets a good swing on this one, but it is high in the air. Center fielder gets under it. He grabs it for out number 3. So the Dragons get some damage done here in the bottom of the second inning. They score 8 runs here in the second inning and now lead 8-2 as we move to the top of inning number 3. That is just what the doctor ordered for the Pine City Dragons. As we will move on to inning number 3, the Dragons lead here 8-2. And now they look to Bryce Erickson for the work here in the top of the third inning. Again, after a bit of a rough start there in the first inning, watching 7 batters come to the plate, he was able to see only 4 batters in the second inning. And he got 2 to reach, but he threw out Parker Olsen on the pickoff attempt. Then watch Tchaikovsky get on with a single, then a fly out and a ground out from the next 2 High Falls batters. Got them out of the inning. Oh, maybe it just continues to get better for the Dragons, as the first inning was a bit rough, second inning looked good, and now maybe the third inning will prove to be that kind of game-turning momentum from Erickson and the rest of the Dragons outfield, and infield, I should say, rest of their defense. There we go. Bryce Erickson played football here for the Pine City Dragons. He was their quarterback. Did a good job quarterbacking this team. He was quarterback last year and the year before. Done a good job. Leading off this top of the third inning for the Broncos will be Julius Maish, number 7. He slowly works his way into the right-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch, and swing and a miss from Julius Maish. So now an 0-1 count for Maish. Erickson ahead 0-1. Gets the signal. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one's fouled back into the fence. 0-2 count now for Maish. Erickson gets a signal. And here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout there for Bryce Erickson for out number 1. Now that'll bring to the plate Cody Joslin. So Joslin comes to the plate in his first at bat. He was hit by a pitch, actually, and wound up reaching second, but that's all the further he would get. Here's the first pitch to him. He gets a piece of it, fouls it back to the backstop. What was it? To a 0-1 count. On deck is C.J. Hasbargen. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one was low, but swung on and fouled over the Broncos dugout. And it's an 0-2 count now for Cody Joslin. Erickson likes the signal. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is fouled back out of play. Once again by Joslin. We'll do it again with an 0-2 count. Gets the extra ball thrown in. He gets back behind the catcher. Gives Erickson the okay. Erickson likes the signal. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one high and outside for ball one. 1-2 count now for Cody Joslin. Erickson again with the signal. And here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's low in the dirt, and Blatz does a good job blocking it, keeping it in front. Not that there's anybody on base, but always want to keep yourself ready. Does a good job, and that will even up the count at 2-2. Joslin over the 2-2, and here's the pitch from Erickson. That one's right back to Erickson. Erickson will jog it over, throw it on to first in time for out number 2. So 2 down and nobody on. C.J. Hasbargen will come to the plate. He flew out on a sac fly, RBI. So 2 down, nobody on here for the Broncos. Erickson gets set. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Half-hearted swing from Hasbargen, but he did go. He'll make it an 0-1 count. Erickson. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one swung on and hit back up the middle. Luke Wilson does a good job to hold on to it, throwing to first. Not going to be in time, and that is going to be dangerous because now it's going to be an error, and it's going to go out of play. So it's a single and then an error that led to him reaching second. So 2 down still, runner on second. Brody Carlson to the plate. He was hit by a pitch as well. Again, it was tough to see. I thought it may have bounced first, then hit him, but they say it hit him first. So he's to the plate, runner on second. And if you're Erickson, that's all right. You've only got 1 runner on. You still got 2 outs, so just got to make sure that you can get some good pitches in here. Maybe back him off the plate a little bit with that high and inside pitch for 1-0 count now to Brody Carlson, but Erickson with this pitch. That's in there for strike 1. 1-1 count now from Erickson to Brody Carlson. And again, just got to trust your fielders out there to do their job and continue your pitching. And that one's going to bounce away from Blatz, and he's going to race to it, the backstop, and Hasbargen will go to third. So 2-1 count now for Brody Carlson, and he's got a runner 90 feet away. So, again, still, if you're Erickson, you're okay. You still got 2 outs, so a ground ball should be good enough for out number 3. Erickson with the 2-1 count. Here's the pitch, and that one is swung on and fouled off on the first base line. So 2-2 count now for Brody Carlson. Still 2 out, and Erickson gets set. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And he went. Yes, he did. Brody Carlson tried to check his swing, but he went around, and that will be out number 3. So a strikeout on the check swing from Brody Carlson will turn it over to the bottom of inning number 3 as the Dragons are on top 8-2. They look to add on some more runs, and continue to build this lead here in this one, as if they win, they are on to the quarterfinals. Lose, you're down to the elimination bracket. Again, as the bracket is updated by the MSHSL, we will keep you updated as to what it looks like for the quarterfinals. So it looks like, Esco beat Mora 10-0, so Mora will be in the elimination bracket. Looked like a quick game there. Wow, about an hour game there. So Mora loses 10-0. They'll go to the elimination bracket, and the next set of games will be on Thursday up at the Esco Sports Complex. Mora down in the elimination bracket. They'll play at 1:30 at the Esco Sports Complex. If Pine City were to win, they'd play at 11 a.m. up at the Esco Sports Complex. If they lose, they will play in the elimination bracket at 4:30, I would guess. Maybe at 1 against Mora. So we'll keep you up to date as to what it all looks like, whether it's elimination bracket or it is against Esco. Esco, again, very good team. 19-1 on the season. Very, very good team. They're going to be tough to beat. As, again, they'll get home field advantage for the what I would call important rounds, if you will. As you got the quarterfinal, looks like semifinal and championship are yet to be determined. But you got the quarterfinal at home plus the elimination bracket. If you do wind up falling, that's big. Getting set to lead off the bottom of the third inning is going to be Luke Wilson. Parker Olson still out there pitching for the I-Falls Broncos. Luke will lead things off here, bottom third. Parker Olson still pitching there for the Broncos. So he'll step back to the mound. He'll get ready. Looks at his catcher. Gets the signal. Here's the windup and the pitch. High for ball one. So a 1-0 count now for Wilson from Olson. Olson gets set, and here's the 1-0 delivery. That one's in the dirt, bounces, and it will bounce past the catcher. He'll get a new ball into his pitcher, and it's a 2-0 count now for Luke Wilson. He reached on an error in his first at-bat in the second inning. That one's inside for ball three. 3-0 count now for Luke Wilson as he leads off the bottom of the third. Olson with the 3-0. In there for strike one, and Wilson was not even thinking about swinging there with the 3-0. So 3-1 now for Wilson, and here's the pitch. That is low and outside. And he'll walk on down to first. That will push us back to the top of the order with Mason Charles. He reached on a he hit a sacrifice fly, I should say, in the second inning. So 0 for 2. Actually, I believe it's be 0 for 1 since it's a sac fly. So runner on first is Wilson. Here's the pitch to Charles. Charles gets a piece of that one down the left field line. Foul. The Dragons have been just ahead on a few of these pitches and have fouled them off down the third base line. And, man, you can't just imagine if these are a little bit straightened out, even if they're just inside. These are going to be a lot of extra bases here for the Dragons. Olson will step off the mound. Charles will step out of the box as well, and he'll come back as Olson is ready. Wilson at first. Charles swings at something well high in the zone. Oh, 0-2 now for Mason Charles. And Olson will step off once again. So Olson, that's the second time he stepped off here. 0-2 pitch. Charles gets a piece of that one. Out to left field. Oh, and it's just foul there for Mason Charles, and he just can't believe it. He can't believe it. So Mason Charles will come back to the plate to do it again. And Wilson will move back to first, and he is just beside himself. He cannot believe it. So frustrated right there is Charles. 0-2 count. That's the second time in this at bat. He's got that. Just straighten it out just a little bit, and again, he's going to be, that's extra bases. Charles will get this one just over the second baseman's head. And Luke Wilson will advance to second, and Charles is into first with a single. So Bryce Erickson will now come to the plate. Nobody out. 2 on. Erickson, the left-handed batter. An RBI in the last inning here for Erickson, which helped them get those 8 runs. Eight to 2, Dragons lead. Erickson. We'll watch this one, and that one's high for ball 1. So now a 1-0 count. Olsen gets set. Erickson will get a piece of that one back into the fence, and that'll make the count 1-1 for Bryce Erickson. So Erickson will step back into the box and get ready with a 1-1 count, and here's the pitch. That's low in the dirt, and Wilson is going to head into third, and close play there at third. Maybe should have gotten down, but he is safe, and Charles will work into second. So Luke Wilson standing up at third. It was a close play, but he's there. Now Erickson with a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Erickson will foul that one back, and that will even the count at 2-2 for Bryce Erickson. Erickson, the starting pitcher here today. Tough first inning for him, but second and third inning have been pretty darn good. Defense has been a huge help, and here's the 2-2 pitch. Erickson will get that one. That's a base hit. RBI single for Bryce Erickson that will also advance the runner. Oh, and they're going to throw home. No, he didn't. Oh, and he got him. So Luke Wilson will score, but then Mason Charles got a little greedy for out 1, and Bryce Erickson tried to take 3, and he got greedy for out number 2. It was a base hit, but getting a little too greedy are the Dragons, and it's going to be 9-2, but 2 outs now. And now we've got maybe the Broncos right fielder may have been injured out there. And it looks like they're going to... Harsberger's going to come in. So C.J. Harsbergen is going to come in, and in for him is going to be Caden Corpy. So Caden Corpy will move out there to right field as the Dragons do get another run to cross, but they also get 2 runners who got a little bit, maybe wanted too much. And Harsbergen will come back. Fortunately, you'd never want to see that, especially if it's his throwing arm. That is never what you want to see. Hopefully he's okay. Never want to see anybody injured. So 2 down now all of a sudden, and Isaiah Haas to the plate with nobody on. Bottom of the third, 9-2 lead for Pine City. Haas. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Haas is 1 for 2 today. In RBI in that second inning, he struck out in the first. Pitch to him is outside again for ball 2. 2-0 count now for Isaiah Haas. Parker Olson with the 2-0 delivery. Haas will foul this one back out of play. So that will make the count 2-1 for Isaiah Haas. Again, the power hitter here for the Dragons. His team leads 9-2. He may have had 2 runners on, but They tried to be a little bit more aggressive and get those runs to cross, and unfortunately they were not able to. Haas will keep an eye on that off speed and just get enough of it to foul it back out of play, which evens the count now at 2-2. He kept his eye close on that one as Olsen threw the off speed, but Haas was not fooled. Fouled it off. And here's the pitch. And getting a piece of that one, but that's going to be high to center field, and he should get under it in time, and that will be out number 3. So Haas will fly out to center, but the Dragons do get one run to cross here in this one, and now lead 9-2 as we move to the top of the 4th inning with the Dragons leading 9-2. As we are about halfway through this one in Pine City. The winner advances on to Thursday to play Esco in the quarterfinal. The loser will move on to the elimination bracket. We'll take a quick commercial break as you're listening to Playoff Baseball here on WCMP.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Top of the 4th, the Dragons lead 9-2 over the International Falls Broncos. After an 8-run second inning, they did add another one here in the 3rd. And we'll see a new pitcher here for the Dragons. Bryce Erickson no longer the pitcher, so he will go 3 full innings. 3 full innings there for Erickson, and as we take a look, he did grab 2 strikeouts along the way for Bryce Erickson. And as we keep looking, he did walk 1, 2. Only 2 walks there for Bryce Erickson. So Mason Charles will be the new pitcher here for Pine City. In the top of the 4th inning, Mason Charles did come in for 1 inning there in the last game. He pitched and got 1 strikeout. And then his team took over in the bottom of the 6th, scored the 2 runs they needed to win 10-0 over Malacca. And that's what sent them into this game against International Falls. And if you're just joining us, I-Falls got here as the 12 seed by beating the number 5 seed Pequot Lakes 7-5. It was an interesting bottom of the 7th for Pequot Lakes. They got 3 runs across but could not get any more with 2 outs as the Broncos did enough to get out of there with the victory. But now the Dragons here on top in the top of the 4th. And we'll look to try and continue to add on. But they're on defense first. And now to lead off the 4th inning is going to be Jake Olson for the Broncos. He'll look down to the head coach at third base. And he'll step into the right-handed batter's box, and Mason Charles readies. And here's the pitch. In there for strike 1. 0-1 count now to Jake Olson. Charles gets set, and here's the 0-1. And Olson thought about it, had his feet moving, but it's going to stay high for ball 1. 1-1 count now for Olson. Charles gets set, and here's the windup and the pitch. Outside for ball 2. 2-1 count now to Olson. Again, Charles, only 1 inning, but he did get the strikeout and helps them seal the victory. And here's the delivery. That one is hit foul. So that will even the count here at 2-2 for Jake Olson. And Mason Charles back to the mound. Likes the signal. Readies. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one swung on, hit, and it will be foul once again. It hits the catcher and maybe even the umpire a little bit. The count will stay at 2-2. Charles gets set again, likes the signal. And here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside and get by the catcher. Looks like Agard moved to catcher here. So Ethan Agard back there at the catcher position now. Do not see Blunt. I believe Blunt's may have moved out to left. And swing and a miss there from Jake Olson. Will be out number 1. 1 down, and that will bring to the plate for the Broncos Parker Olson, the now pitcher for the Broncos. Parker Olson reached on a base hit in the second inning. 1 down, and Charles with the windup and the pitch. In there for strike 1 to Parker Olson. Got Jake and Parker Olson back-to-back batters. 0-1 count now. Charles with the pitch. That one's going to be outside for ball 1. So now a 1-1 count to Parker Olson. Mason Charles. Readies. Here's the pitch. That one's high and inside for ball 2. 2-1 now for Parker Olson from Mason Charles. 1 down, nobody on. Charles gets set. Here's the 2-1 delivery. That one's going to hit him. Parker Olson will move down to first. And that will bring to the plate Noah Shikowski. Runner on first, 1 down. Charles checks on the runner at first. And here's the pitch. That one's popped out of play. Oh, 1 now for Shikowski. Runner on first again after being hit by the pitch. Charles, readies. Here's the 0-1 delivery. He gets a piece of that one. Haas picks it up. Throw on to 2 for 1. On to first. He's safe at first. So the fielder's choice will make Shikowski, safe at first, but the runner will be out, thrown out at second. So 2 down now. We'll go back to the top of the order with Torrin Thompson coming to the plate. 1 for 2 today. So still a runner on first with 2 down now. Mason Charles. Readies, throw on to first, but the runner is safe. He's back in plenty of time. Charles will ready again. Here's the pitch. Owen. Torrin Thompson will be hit by the pitch. He'll move down to first. And he looks to be okay. Whew. So runners on first and second after a scary situation. Lucky that one had a little bit something taken off of it, but still doesn't mean that doesn't ring the bell a little bit. So Torrin Thompson will be at first. Looks like they're actually going to take a look at him here with the trainer. You're just going to make sure that he's all right and he's still fit to continue playing. Again, just because it looked like it was a little bit of a softer pitch doesn't mean that it doesn't affect the brain any less. They always keep the player's safety first and foremost. So you always better safe than sorry. But he looks to be okay, thankfully. But now to the plate is going to be Matt Worley here for the Broncos after Thompson was hit. So 2 on. And Charles got a bit of work to do here. 2 out, though. There's a silver lining. That one's going to be low for ball 1. So now in a bit of a tough situation for Mason Charles. Again, silver lining, you got 2 down, so all you need to do is get this final out, which is easier said than done. Charles with the 1-0 pitch. That one's in there for strike one to Matt Worley, who is 0 for 2. Charles gets back to the mound, and he readies. And here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Great job there by Ethan Agard to hold on to that one, and he'll keep those runners at their bases, first and second. 2 down, it's a 2-1 count now for Matt Worley. Charles sets, here's the pitch. And Worley hit it, but he hit it off of his own leg. That's got to sting. So he's trying to shake it off there, and he'll work back into the batter's box. So 2-2 count. Charles with the 2-2 pitch. This one's popped up and out of play. Towards the parking lot here in Pine City. And unfortunately, no one from Pine City is out there to grab it, so it will stay 2-2. We'll do it once again. 2 out, 2 on, 2-2 count. Charles readies. Here's the pitch. Oh, and he's going to hit another batter. So Matt Worley will be hit by a pitch, and now it loads the bases with Julius Maish coming to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a strikeout. So now if you're Pine City, you're in a tough situation. Again, still only need 1 out, but again, it's easier said than done. And with hitting back-to-back batters for Charles, you gotta imagine his confidence is taking a bit of a hit, but nothing better feeling if you're a pitcher than coming back and either getting an out or a strikeout, either one. But we'll work to do as the first pitch to Maish is outside for ball 1. And that one's in there for strike 1. Coaches in the dugout from Pine City telling Charles, hey, keep that up. That's what you need. That is exactly what you need to do right there. Bases loaded. That one's in there for strike 2. It was dropped from Agard's glove, but no one's going to try and take home smartly. So 1-2 count to Julius Maish. 2 outs, bases loaded. And that one's fouled off down the first base line. Well out of play. Pine Tree caught it. Pine Tree, I don't think, has got a jersey on, so he doesn't count. Might be hiding one in there, I don't know. So we'll do it again, 1-2. Here's the pitch. And foul down the third base line by Julius Maish. We'll get set to do it again with a 1-2 count. Runners working their way back to their respective bases, and 1-2 count for Julius Maish. Charles gets set, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss! And Mason Charles works out of an absolute jam, and he will strike out that batter to get out of a nasty jam, and the Broncos will strand 3. So we will move down to the bottom of inning number 3 here on WCMP with the Dragons leading 9-2. So no damage done there by the Broncos. Dragons still lead 9-2. And we will move on to the bottom of inning number 4. We'll take a quick commercial break here. Word from our fine sponsors. You're listening to Playoff Baseball here on WCMP.
High-capacity hydraulics, four-wheel drive, hydrostatic transmission, horsepower. You like when somebody speaks your language. Then you better visit the experts at Minnesota Equipment in Isanti. Dozens of tractors, utility vehicles, mowers, and compact utility tractors ready to take home today at a price that won't break the bank. The sale is just the start of the relationship. Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti, or at minnesotaequipment.com.
Back here on 106.5 FM AM 1350 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. It's 9-2 in favor of the Dragons. Embrace Orthodontics helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. And also Dr. Sievers is there to provide a world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. You can go to their website and find out more at embracemn.com. That's EMBRACEMN.com. Dragons still lead 9-2 in the final game here today in Pine City. Again, the winner will move on to face off against Esco on Thursday at 11 a.m. The loser will move on to the elimination bracket. I'm pretty sure and play Mora, as Esco beat Mora pretty quickly, 10-0. So Nick Plashek comes to the plate. 0 for 2 so far today. Fly out and reach on an error in the third. Bottom of the fourth. And Parker Olson still out there on the mound for the Broncos. Here's the pitch. Logic watches that one go by for strike one. Ted Haas over on third, and Hansman over at the first base. Plajek will get this one right back up the middle for a base hit. So Plajek with the leadoff single for the Dragons, and that will bring to the plate Riley Cummings. He saw himself at the plate twice in that second inning. He came around twice, scoring 2 runs. He reached on a single in his first at-bat, then reached on a walk. Cummings at the plate now, runner on first, nobody out. First pitch to him is low in the dirt, and Plajek is going to take second, and he will get there standing. So Plajek will move down to second, and Cummings will deal with a 1-0 count. Parker Olson gets set. Here's the pitch, and Cummings looks like he got a piece of that one. He'll follow it back, and count moved to 1-1. That one may have gotten some dirt in the catcher's eyes. They're going to make sure he's all right. And then we're back to action. So 1-1 now for Cummings. Olson readies. Here's the pitch. Cummings gets this one popped up to shallow center. Plajek will go back to second, and the center fielder is under it in time for out number 1. And now Elliot Blatz will come to the plate. He is 1 for 1 today, reached on a single and then walked. He hit an RBI in that second inning as well. Now to the plate, trying to do much of the same. So Olson will get set once again. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 1. 0-1 count now to Blatz. 1 out and a runner on second. Here's the 0-1. That one's going to be popped up. And Plajek will quickly move back to second. That's in. Oh, that was a tough play for the center fielder, but nice job to get under it in time for out number 2. I don't know if maybe you let the other fielders get that one, but he races under it to get it for out number 2. And now Aiden Palmer to the plate. He hit 2 RBIs in that second inning, and he'll look to do the same here. Don't want to strand that runner at second. Aiden Palmer to the plate. First pitch to him is well high for ball 1. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 2. So 2-0 count now for Aiden Palmer. Again, he's got some power in his bat as well. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Palmer got a piece of that one, but that will move the count now to 2-1 for Palmer. And here's the pitch. Outside, ball 3. 3-1 count now for Aiden Palmer. Runner out there on second is Nick Plajek. 2 down. Here's the 3-1. Palmer gets a piece of it, fouls it off. And the ball's going to come right back towards the batting circle. Move the count full. So full count now for Aiden Palmer. 2 down, runner on second. Here's the pitch. Low, and Palmer will go to first on a walk. So Agard, kind of same situation in that second inning. He came in and hit twice, but reached on a single, then scored, but then flew out as the last out in the second inning. Looks like we'll get a courtesy runner here for the Pine City Dragons. And going down to first in place of Aiden Palmer is going to be Caleb Hogberg. Down to first. So Ethan Agar now at the plate. Runners on first and second, 2 down. Wilson with the pitch. Agard, that one's in there for strike 1. Just didn't like it. A lot of times if you don't like it, don't swing. Here's the 0-1. Oh, and Agard likes that position. He swings that one, gets it into the outfield, and the runner from second looking to score, Nick Plajek, and he's going to get there standing, and he's going to dive anyways. Sometimes I just think Nick Plajek can't help himself. So he'll get dirty. And Ethan Agard in an RBI single for the Dragons. The Dragons now lead 10-2. So Luke Wilson comes to the plate, 2 downs. Runner still on first and second after that RBI single from Ethan Agard. Here's the pitch. Oh, and he wanted it, that off speed coming in there. He wanted it at the last moment, but thought better because there's no point in getting it in a low roller for out 3. Might as well wait for a pitch that you like better. And a quick pitch there from Olsen, and I don't think Luke Wilson was 100% ready for that one. But he fouls it back out of play, so it's going to be 0-2 now for Luke Wilson. 2 down, runners on first and second. Here's the 0-2. That bounces to the catcher. So it moves the count to 1-2. Olsen will work back to the mound. Here is the 1-2 pitch. And Wilson just does just enough to foul that one off down the first base line. He'll keep himself alive there at the plate with a 1-2 count. He did just enough, and he extended that bat as far as he could. Keep himself alive. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 2. Evens the count at 2-2 now for Luke Wilson, and despite the tough count with 2 down, being patient up there. Wilson with the 2-2, and he swings through that one and misses, so that will be out number 3. But the Dragons are able to cross one more run. So one more run is crossed, and the Dragons lead 10-2 here as we move to the top of inning number 5. With the Dragons leading once again 10-2 over the International Falls Broncos here at Pine City High School. It's been a long, fun day of baseball. And it's not over yet. We still got the rest of this game to see who wins and moves on. Well, they'll both move on, but one will play in the elimination bracket, and one will be playing against Esco on Thursday. Not going to be an easy game, especially in Esco. So Esco's got a big-time home field advantage. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Playoff Baseball here on WCMP.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP. And, of course, WCBRadio.com, audio only. Dragons lead 10-2 over the I-Falls Broncos. And the winner of this game moves on to Thursday to face it off against ESCO at 11 a.m. in ESCO. The loser will move to the elimination bracket against Mora at 1:30. They will actually play, looks like 2 elimination games up in ESCO. One at 1:30 and one at 4. I'm guessing maybe? No, it looks like there'll be another complex. So, loser will play Mora. Winner will play ESCO on Thursday up in ESCO. And then we'll go from there. Top of the 5th inning here for the Dragons. That one's hit. And right back to Charles. He throws it on to first easily in time for out number 1. And the leadoff batter, Cody Joslin, is sent down. So 1 down. And now coming to the plate is number 33, Nick Bernath. So a pinch hitter for Hasbargen as he left with an injury. Of course, we were hoping nothing but the best for him because you just never want to see anybody injured. So Nick Bernath is at the plate. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be high for ball 1. Don't forget, over on 100.9 FM coming up in about an hour, you'll hear the Minnesota Twins on the airwaves. Their game against the Houston Astros tonight set for a first pitch of 7:10 p.m. over on 100.9 FM. On this station, it's the Dragons leading 10-2 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard with Bernath swinging and missing on the second pitch. Now deals with a 1-1. That Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, they'll do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. And if you don't have insurance, ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at EmbraceMN.com. That next pitch goes awry. It's going to be 2-1 now to Bernath. Here's the pitch. That's up high for ball 3. So a 3-1 count now to Bernath, and 1 down. Nobody on for the Broncos. Charles with the windup and the pitch. That's in there for strike 2, and that will run the count full now. Charles will get set. Gets the signal. Readies. And here's the pitch. That's outside, and Bernath will walk down to first. So 1 out and a runner on first, and that will bring Brody Carlson to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat and then struck out back in the 3rd. We'll get a pinch runner here for Bernath, and that will be a number 9, Caleb Joslin. And they will give the okay to Brody Carlson to step into the box. So we'll get ready to go. Charles, readies, checks the runner at first, and here's the pitch. In there for strike 1. Carlson will look down to the head coach at third base. Get the call, get in, back into the batter's box. Charles with the 0-1 pitch. Outside for ball 1. So count now 1-1 for Brody Carlson. Here's the 1-1 delivery from Charles. High above the letters for ball 2. Charles will get back to the mound, and he'll quickly get set. Peek on that runner at first. And here's the pitch. That's in there for strike 2. Evens the count 2-2. We're getting some sun showers here, and it looks like we're getting some clouds rolling back into the area that could maybe drop some rain. So the clouds to the south look like they're dropping rain to the south for sure. Well, that one's up and over the batter, and you could hear Charles audibly, oh my goodness, as the Pinch runner Caleb Joslin down to second. So ball gets back as the runner will advance to second now. One out. Charles with the pitch. That one is swung on and hit right back to Charles. Oh, he's got to dig for it, and then he throws it on to first in time for out number 1. Runner from second smartly moves to third, and it's out number 2, though. Now we'll bring to the plate now Jake Olson, 0 for 2, grounded and struck out in his 2 at-bats. 2 down and a runner on third now. Again, the sun showers beginning to pick up a tad. So hopefully this game can that ball will be hit out of play. Be an 0-1 count now for Jake Olson. And again, hopefully the rain can hold off a little bit longer. We would like to finish this one. So here's the 0-1. That one is swung on and hit out to center field. Center fielder tracks back, gets under it in time for out number 3. So they do get a runner on, but he proves not to be any bit of a threat. And we'll move to the bottom of inning number 5 as the Dragons lead 10-2. And again, that rain going from more of a sun shower now to becoming a drizzle. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we continue to move forward here in Pine City. Dragons lead again 10-2 over I Falls. And it looks like we're going to get a word from the athletic director, just kind of letting these guys know, hey, might only get a limited amount of baseball left. These clouds seemingly rolling in pretty quickly. Again, we had rain earlier, right after that Pequot Lakes International Falls game was over. About 5-10 minutes after it finished, a rainstorm came through. It was a quick rainstorm, but it came through nonetheless, and then it lightened up. The sun came out, and it's out in full force, but now all of a sudden you've got some nice rain clouds rolling in. Granted, we need the rain, but if it could just wait like 45 minutes longer to an hour so we can finish this one, I think we would all appreciate it. Still out on the mound here for the I Falls Broncos will be Parker Olson. As we move down to the bottom of the 5th, of course, this game would probably be called if there's lightning. So we got to keep an eye on that as well. And as much as we've wanted spring, this is, I guess, more summer weather. We really didn't get a spring. It kind of jumped right into summer here in Minnesota. But we will wait as Parker Olson will get his warm-up pitches in there, and looks like he'll get one more. So one more warm-up pitch here for Parker Olson. Throw down to second. So Mason Charles will make his way into the batter's box. The leadoff batter here in inning number 5. Of course, he's top of the order as well. Charles in this one is 1 for 2. A sac fly in the second. Then reached on a single, but then later on tried to take home aggressively, and then he got thrown out, but kind of like that aggressiveness. That one outside for ball 1. Charleston checks down to head coach Haas at third base. Steps back into the batter's box, and Olson, I mean, he's wasting no time. Charles says, all right, I see that, and I'll give this one a ride out to left field, but the left fielder under it in time for out number 1. Olson was not giving Charles any benefit of the doubt there. He said, well, if you're not ready, that's your problem. So Bryce Erickson will now come to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He walked in the first inning, hit a sac fly in the second, and then reached on a single, but then he himself was trying to be aggressive and get to third, but was thrown out. So 1 down for Bryce Erickson. As he comes to the plate, nobody on. Jake Olson with the windup and the pitch. That's inside for ball 1. Parker Olson gets set. Here's the pitch. 3-0, excuse me. I think I said 1-0. Maybe I said it in my head. I don't know. 3-0 for Erickson, and here's the pitch. Inside, and it will be a 4-pitch walk to Erickson. So now Isaiah Haas comes to the plate. And if he were to reach home, that's the game winner here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch to him is high for ball 1. You can tell Haas was thinking about it, but he smartly holds off for ball 1. Runner on first. 1-0 count, and here's the pitch. Inside for ball 2. To Isaiah Haas. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And Haas, he wanted that one. That one will go well out of play behind us. Count moves to 2-1 here for Isaiah Haas. You can tell he was trying to give that one a ride. But that one will go behind him, foul, and here's the 2-1. That's in the dirt for ball 3. 3-run count now for Isaiah Haas. 1 out, runner on first. That is Erickson. Here's the pitch. Haas will give that one a ride, foul down the third base line. So he'll get set to do it with a full count now. And here's the pitch. That one is given a ride down the third base line. Oh, and Erickson stopped at second, and I don't know if he was held there, or maybe he just wasn't looking directly at his coach at third. So Erickson will move to second and Haas at first with Nick Plajek coming to the plate. Still 1 out. And here's the pitch. Outside for ball 1 to Nick Plajek. Runners on first and second. And Plajek will give that one a ride, and that will escape the infield. That'll be a base hit, and gets it in quickly, does the right fielder. That will hold the runners with bases loaded now for Riley Cummings. The game-winning run at second with 1 down as Nick Plajek is on first. Bases loaded for Riley Cummings, and this is a great opportunity for him. Base hit might just end it. So Parker Olson gets set, and here's the pitch. Low, and it will stay in front. Great job by the catcher. So 1-0 count now for Riley Cummings as Olson will get back to the mound. And here's the pitch. Ooh, that's in there. Strike 1. Low, but must have just clipped enough of the strike zone to make it 1-1. For Riley Cummings. Bases loaded. 1 down. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Stays in front. And again, great job there by Brody Carlson. Keeping that in front of him. But now it's a 2-1 count here for Riley Cummings. Carl Olson, gets back to the mound. Here's the, and he waits a little bit longer than normal, but here's the 2-1 pitch. Cummings gives that one, oh my goodness, and it's going to be no chance for Pine City. Yeah, they got caught that time. That was, no chance. Haas got caught Haas thought that one was going to escape the infield, which it should have, but an absolute Superman jump into the air from the shortstop will grab it for out number 2. And then they get Haas on the force out at 2. So that is a tough way to end an inning if you're Pine City. I mean, there is no way that Isaiah Haas is to blame on that one. That one was, I mean, that had game-winning base hit all over it, but a great leaping grab from the shortstop there from I Falls to end the inning. Give credit where credit is due. I Falls says, we're not done yet. My goodness. And then, of course, Isaiah Haas just kind of got caught in between, and that's not his fault. He had no chance on that one. With one down and a hit like that, you got to be running because you got to be trying to. He's the game-winning run. But man, oh man, what a play there at shortstop by I Falls. And it looks like Charles will be out for yet another inning for the Dragons. This will be his third if he completes it. He'll get ready, and Dragons still lead 10-2 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. And Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. They're also helping you find a smile you will embrace forever. Go to their website to find out more at embracemn.com. So top of the 6th inning. And leading off for the I Falls Broncos will be Parker Olson. 1 for 1 today. Charles gets set. Here's the windup and the pitch. In there, strike 1 to Parker Olson. Here's the windup and the pitch from Charles, and that's just above the letters for ball 1. So 1-1 the count now to Parker Olson. Here's the 1-1 delivery from Charles. Swung on, popped up, and Agard has a chance, but that will get down pretty darn quickly. So no chance on that one, and that'll move the count 1-2 now for Parker Olson again. Rain clouds moving in pretty quickly here, but we might be able to get to finish this one as the rain clouds moving a little bit slower than I anticipated. That's okay. That's okay. I'm really okay with the rain waiting. We had to deal with the rain earlier, as I mentioned, but still able to play this game, thankfully. Here's the 1-2. Outside ball 2. Evens the count at 2-2 now for Parker Olson. And Mason Charles trying to get out of this inning, and you just got to imagine that this Pine City team is feeling so much momentum from these last couple innings. They're going to try and get those winning runs across here in the 6th. The next pitch is outside for ball 3. It's a full count now to Parker Olson. Here's the full count pitch. That's going to be outside for a ball 4, and Parker Olson will lead off the inning with a walk down to first, and now it's Noah Schakowski coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2 today with a field. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the 4th. So runner on first, and nobody out. Charles with the pitch. Swing and a miss. So again, Charles on his 3rd inning of work here after Bryce Erickson went the first 3 with 2 strikeouts and only giving up 2 walks. Charles has had a equally good set of innings, and that one is hit but bounced foul behind the plate. And count 0-2 for Noah Schakowski. When you can feel it starting to push the rain north a little bit. Trying to send it our way. As Charles with the 0-2 delivery. He grabs it off the hop, but then the throw down to second is high, but whoo, nice job there by the second baseman, Luke Wilson, to hop up, grab that one, bring it down for out number 1. So if anything, you get the lead runner out. That's big, but a fielder's choice here as Schakowsky will be on first with 1 down. Torrin Thompson, he was hit by a pitch in his helmet the last time. Turned out to be okay. 1 down, runner on first. Here's the pitch from Charles that will bounce. Oh, it's going to get past Agard and into second easily is going to be Schakowsky. He's thinking about third. He rounds second, but he'll stay at second. So Agard does a good job to rush back to grab that ball, and now we've got a runner at second for the Broncos. Torrin Thompson. Here's the pitch from Charles. Outside. 2-0 count now for Torrin Thompson. Charles readies. And here's the pitch. That's high for ball 3. So Charles going to come back with a strike here, trying to get Thompson out. Get that second out, and then it relieves a little bit of pressure if you're a pitcher. That one is, inside for ball 4. Really? Wow. That must have been by an eyelash inside, but it is going to be a ball. Interesting, as they'll have 2 runners on with 1 out, and to the plate now, Matt Worley. Actually, he was the one who was hit by the pitch in the helmet, excuse me. So Thompson took it in the foot, but Worley took it in the helmet. But he turned out to be okay, and he still looks okay, so that's all we care about. First pitch to him is called ball. Charles will get set, and here's the pitch. Oh, and it's going to hit him in the shoulder. So bases loaded now for the I-Falls Broncos, and Ted Haas looks like he'll have a mound visit. And might see the pitching change come here. If that's the case, Charles did 2 1/3 innings of work with a couple of strikeouts. 1, 2, 2. So he would have 2. We'll see, though. We'll see if this conference brings about a pitching change or if they're going to give him the vote of confidence and leave him out there. Bases loaded situation. They will. They'll give him that vote of confidence with the bases loading and only 1 out. Nick Plajic gives him that firm handshake that says, hey, man, we got you. Put something on the ground. We'll get that double play. Or, heck, even a strikeout. I know that's tough to ask, but Julius Maish, 1 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, but Maish seems he's in that cleanup spot, or excuse me, the 3rd spot for a reason. That pitch is in there for strike 1, and if you're Charles, that's got to feel good after hitting the last batter and then walking the previous batter for him. So here's the 0-1 pitch from Charles, and that one's little looper. Luke Wilson. Oh, he dropped it. That's going to score 1. And thankfully, that is all. So Maish will reach on an RBI single. And that will make it 10-3. That is probably one of the tougher catches you'll have to make on the run, as swinging. He got that one, I think, off the catcher foul, so it's going to be an 0-1 count here to Cody Joslin. Bases still loaded. 1 out. And tough spot here for Charles is you want to be putting these out of the reach of these batters so that they don't have a chance. This ball is playable in foul territory. Oh, and Agard just couldn't track it well enough. he may have lost it. The clouds are just hazy enough where that ball may have blended in as he's looking up. Give credit to Aiden Palmer. He's trucking it from first base, trying to make the play. You can tell the Dragons, they want to get out of this inning. So Cody Joslin back to the batter's box, and here's the pitch from Charles. And, oh, that's going to get Charles on to 2 for 1. To first, and that is a double play. So, wow, after it hits Charles in the stomach, man, the shortstop covers it, throws it on to 2 for 1, or steps on to 2 for 1, and throws it on to 1 for out number 3. That's a big, big play there for the Dragons, and they will leave the second inning with only allowing 1 run to score. They get out of an absolute terrible jam with only allowing that 1 run to score. The sky's getting a little bit darker with those rain clouds coming in, but we, again, are close to finishing this one, so hopefully it holds off just enough as we will move to the bottom of inning number 6. And for the Dragons, you got momentum from your batters. Hopefully you can grab it back here in this bottom of the 6th and then finish it out in the top of the 7th. As we'll take a quick commercial break to hear a word from our sponsors. You're listening to Playoff Baseball on 106.5 FM, AM 1350 WCMP.
When you need an AC or furnace tune-up, Dale's Heating and Appliance is always clutch. Need financing on a new AC or furnace system? Dale's Heating and Appliance in Pine City is your closer. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
Avoid costly repairs on your AC or heating system by getting a tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. Dale's is your hometown cooling and heating expert, servicing Pine City and surrounding areas. Visit Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com today. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
Back here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMPradio.com as well. Audio only, of course, abiding by the MSHSL rules. So the Dragons back out into the batting portion of the inning, and they will look to get 3 runs to try and end the game here in the bottom of the 6th. Leading off will be Elliot Blatz. He is 1 for 2 today with an RBI. Parker Olson still out there. That one's low for ball. Oh. Wow, that is interesting. 0-1 count. So 0-1 pitch from Olson. That's going to be in there for strike 2. Off speed. And again, maybe 0-2, but that may be right where Blatz is looking to be. Waiting for that pitch that he wants. That's in there, strike 3. He's going to go down looking. I mean, that first pitch maybe should have been ball, and that, I think, threw him off. But either way, Aiden Palmer now comes to the plate. Well, Parker Olson works back to the mound. 1 down. Nobody on for the Dragons. Aiden Palmer right back to the pitcher, and that's going to be out number 2. It's 2 up, 2 down. That'll bring to the plate Ethan Agard. 2 for 3 today. Dragons lead 10-3, but 2 down and nobody on. One of the first innings where they haven't got anybody on base. I would imagine you would want to at least try and work this pitch count, as that one's going to be in there for strike 1, because all of a sudden momentum's going to start shifting the other way, and then you got to work against momentum. Parker Olson, the 0-1. He's getting that off-speed working now, and if you're Pine City, you know what's coming. So Olson, that's outside. So 1-2 now to Ethan Agard, and don't be surprised if he goes back to the off-speed. 0-2 smartly goes back to the heat, and now he'll throw off-speed. That's in there, strike 3. And Dragons can't get anything going, and that is tough, and that's not really what you want, especially here when the Broncos filled the bases last inning and then all of a sudden got a run across. They've all of a sudden got momentum now, even though Pine City has a 10-3 lead. You might be saying to yourself, well, Pine City's got this in the bag. This is easy. Not the case. Momentum is a funny thing to work with and against, and Pine City right now working against it after the Broncos. Yes, they only got one run in the last inning, but that definitely swung momentum, and you could see it out there in the field, especially with their pitcher, Parker Olson, pitching. Now, granted, first one to Blatz was a little, probably should have been ball, but either way. And that definitely, but again, it's something like that that can really throw you off at the plate. You think, oh, it's going to be ball, and then all of a sudden you get a strike call, and now you're in your head a little bit. And all of a sudden you get the next two by you, and you go down looking if you're Blatz, and then unfortunately for Aiden Palmer, right back to the pitcher for out number 2, and then Agard goes down looking as well. But it was the off-speeds. Yeah, I mean, he threw, I'd say, 50% off-speeds there to those 3 batters he faced. So here we go, top of the 7th. Can Pine City close it out? It's a 10-3 lead, but High Falls working with some momentum now. It will be Mason Charles out there in this 7th inning, so he's looking to finish it out. He is looking to finish this game out on the mound. They had a mound visit with him, and it was a question of, are they going to pull him? Are they going to find another pitcher to finish? But they left him out there. He did a good job, finished out the inning. And this is a big one, as now he'll lead off with, it'll be number 9 instead. That will be Caleb Joslin, who will come to the plate now, and that's in there for strike 1 from Charles. So it should be Hasbargen, but he's out with an injury. Then it was Nick Bernath. Now he's out, and in for him is Caleb Joslin. And he swings and got a piece of that one. It's going to roll underneath the catcher, but it's foul. So 0-2 count now for Caleb Joslin. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Oh, just outside for ball 1. So now a 1-2 count for Caleb Joslin. Charles readies. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that's outside as well. That'll draw the count even at 2-2. So if you're Charles, that's not ideal. That is not ideal to get ahead 0-2, then next 2 are ball. I mean, the last one was close. Swing and a miss from Caleb Joslin. So 1 down here in the top of the 7th, and now it's Brody Carlson. He's 0 for 2 today. He was hit by a pitch back in the 1st. Here we go. 1 down, nobody on. Charles still out there. He's had his work cut out for him a couple of times, but he's gotten out of some tough situations and top of the 7th, and I got to imagine there are some nerves going, but biggest thing here to do is just keep your composure, throw what you can, throw what you know, be confident in what you're throwing, and trust your defense. That one is into shallow right. The right fielder's there for out number 2. So 2 down, and Jake Olson will come. No, they're going to instead have number 4, Keaton Maish. Keaton Maish will come to the plate. So Maish to the plate now, in for Jake Olson, and 2 down, nobody on, and Pine City can close out here, and they will be on to Thursday to face off against Esco at 11 if they can. Charles with the pitch. That one is swung on low and in the dirt, but swing and a miss. So 0-1. Here for Keaton Maish. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's high and outside for ball 1. 1-1 now for Keaton Maish. 2 down, nobody on. Charles will work back to the mound. He'll ready. Here's the wind up and the pitch. The wipe. Ooh, just high for ball 2. Charles has a 2-1 count. He smiles there on the mound. He's a little bit, I think, has more of a frustration smile. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside, now 3-1. So if you're Pine City and Mason Charles, just get something across the plate here. That's outside. So Maish will be on. 2 down. Parker Olsen, if I could speak English, will work his way to the plate. 2 down, runner on first. 10-3, Dragons lead on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Mason Charles with the pitch. In there for strike 1. Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at embracemn.com. That one is swung on, popped up, and that should do it. Haas will call it off. He's got it for out number 3. So that will do it here in this one. The Dragons get the victory over the International Falls Broncos 10-3. So the Dragons will be on and move on to Thursday, where they will play against ESCO at 11 a.m. on Thursday. So the Dragons, a big second inning, get them the victory here today over I Falls 10-3. Mason Charles finishes off the last 4 innings. And in those last 4 innings, he got 1, 2, looks like 3 strikeouts to his day. So 3 strikeouts, and we'll count the walks as well. Looks like 1, 2, 3, also 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 8 walks for him in this one. But he does get out of some jams, and he will finish it off as the Dragons get the victory 10-3. They will move on and play on Thursday at 11 a.m. up in ESCO against the ESCO Eskimos. And Mora will take on International Falls up in ESCO at 1:30 in the elimination bracket. And the bracket has just been updated. They will have the semifinal at Wade Stadium in Duluth at 2 on June 6th, and then the championship at Wade Stadium on June 8th at 4:30. So if Pine City wins against ESCO, they'll be in the semifinal on the 6th. If they lose, they'll go down to the elimination bracket where they'll play at 4, the winner of Mora and International Falls. So there's a chance they could have another rematch against I Falls or play another game against Mora. So either way, they'll be playing against someone they've already played against here in this one. So the Dragons do get the victory over International Falls 10-3. They will play on Thursday at 11 a.m. in ESCO against ESCO. That should be a tough one there for both those teams. It'll be a very interesting game. And we will keep you up to date as to who will play where and when out of all of these teams. The Dragons play on Thursday at 11 a.m. up in ESCO. Don't forget you can hear on the morning shows your local sports updates on 95.5 FM with Rockin' Robin Riley at 7:30 and 8:30. Then over on 100.9 FM with Joshua Miron at 7:45 and 8:45. That is when you can catch your local sports updates. Also check our website and our Facebook pages for updates as well. Thank all of you for tuning in. Thanks to all of our fine sponsors. Then that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Dragons get the victory 10-3. They'll do Embrace Orthodontics will do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. If you don't have insurance, ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at embracemn.com. The Dragons with the win 10-3 over the International Falls Broncos. excuse me, I want to thank all of you for tuning in here this afternoon. Thanks so much for tuning in. I want to thank all of our fine sponsors as well. We can't come out here without them. So thanks so much to all of our fine sponsors who sponsored this broadcast. Again, the final here, 10-3 Dragons over the International Falls Broncos. Remember to be kind to everyone. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could make their day. The final, once again, the Dragons 10, the Broncos 3. So for WCMP, I am Ethan Game Day Gilman. And again, thanks so much to all of our fine sponsors. Thanks so much to all of you who tuned in. Trying to remember if I told you everything you need to, but stay tuned. We will keep you up to date again as to who will play where and when in the playoffs. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman for WCMP. Have a great rest of your night.